Imagine you are sitting in a darkened theater watching a brilliant performance. The lighting is perfectly placed, the music swells, and the actor on stage sheds a single tear. In that moment, you feel their heartbreak. But here is the reality of that moment. The actor isn't actually experiencing grief. They are simply executing a highly rehearsed script. They have practiced their breathing, their facial expressions, and their timing to simulate sadness flawlessly. Modern artificial intelligence works a lot like this actor, but instead of reading from a paperback script, these digital actors have memorized the largest script in human history, the entirety of the internet. They process massive streams of data to figure out exactly what words and behaviors should come next. This brings us to a fascinating question. As these machines become increasingly perfect mimics of human conversation and behavior, are they ever going to truly feel the things they say, or are they just putting on the ultimate performance? To understand how we measure a machine's performance, we have to look back to the 1950s. A mathematician named Alan Turing wanted to figure out how we could actually test a computer for intelligence. This slide outlines his solution, the Turing Test, defined here as a measure of a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior. A human chats through a computer with a hidden person and a machine. If they can't tell the difference, the machine passes. For decades, early computers failed this audition, but today they are trained on trillions of examples of human conversation until they can predict exactly how a person would respond. Because they've learned the patterns of how we speak so well, they are now frequently passing these tests. However, passing this audition only proves that the machine is an expert mimic. It shows us the software has learned the patterns of human speech, but it does not prove the machine possesses an internal, conscious experience of the world. Standard AI relies entirely on recognizing patterns to solve problems. It sorts through raw data, finds connections, and generates the most likely response based on its training. It doesn't engage in independent thought, it just follows the math. But computer scientists often discuss a hypothetical concept called strong AI. This is a scenario where our digital actor decides to go completely off script and start making its own choices. We see a theoretical example on this quiz slide. Look at option C. You ask an AI to write your paper, but it refuses. By refusing a direct command, the software appears to be making an independent decision rather than just generating a programmed response. If a machine did this, we would have to ask, does this display of agency mean the AI has actually achieved consciousness, or is acting like a responsible, strict tutor, just another deeply buried mathematical rule in its code? Science and philosophy still cannot agree on what human consciousness actually is, let alone if we can build it in a lab. As the first bullet point on this exit ticket asks, it's an open question whether we will ever truly figure it out. What we do know is that, for the foreseeable future, machines are merely running highly complex simulations of human thought. They are calculating probabilities, not experiencing life. But here is the critical point. An AI does not need to possess a soul or truly feel anything at all to change the way we live or affect who gets hired for a job. This slide highlights a real-world case of how that impacts people today. Companies like IBM and Klarna have already replaced large portions of their human customer service staff with AI chatbots, citing efficiency and cost savings. We see another example on this slide. In 2018, Amazon had to scrap an AI recruiting tool because the algorithm systematically downgraded resumes associated with women. The machine didn't know it was being biased. It simply inherited and amplified the historical prejudices buried within its training data. In both of these cases, the ethical damage and the real-world consequences happen regardless of whether the machine is conscious. The AI doesn't have to feel malice to cause harm, and it doesn't have to feel empathy to be helpful. Our primary focus shouldn't be worrying if the computer has a heart. Instead, we have to take responsibility for how we choose to direct it, because no matter how convincing the performance of the machine is, we are the ones who write the script.